Hello and welcome to this lesson where we're going to review and discuss implementation methodologies. After completing this lesson, you should be able to describe and compare implementation methodologies. Let's have a look at the typical process steps for an implementation project, from requirements down to deployment. If you've been working with SAP ECC, then you are most likely familiar with the SAP ASAP, which is a waterfall implementation approach. If you look at the attributes of the waterfall approach, you find that the process is sequential and linear, with milestones along the way to measure progress. You cannot move into a new phase before the previous one has been completed. Should you need to go back, you will always have to revisit the first phase again. Waterfall approaches entail detailed documentation of all phases and activity. This approach is recommended if your requirements are static. Typically, the requirements and design phase are based on an as-is business process to make the solution fit the organization. The client business is usually not involved in the design, implementation, and development stages, but becomes in later towards testing. Very often, these are complex implementations with heavy development and deviations from the standard. The consequence are a high cost of ownership and very difficult upgrades. Oracle True Cloud Method was developed by Oracle Services specifically for cloud implementations. This was born out of the realization that the waterfall approach was not suitable for cloud solutions. In today's world, the speed with which an organization's business content changes is ever increasing. So if you follow a lengthy implementation approach, by the time you go live with the solution, the requirements that you defined at the beginning of the project will no longer be appropriate, and the solution will not be aligned with the business strategy. Secondly, in order to benefit from a cloud solution and the constant innovation enabled through regular releases, you should stay as close to standard as possible. TCM focuses on business outcomes rather than requirements. The question should be, what do you want to achieve, rather than how do you want to achieve it? It uses early visualization to allow our customers, in particular the business, to make informed decisions. It takes an iterative approach to design and has the flexibility to ensure that within one overall framework, work streams can follow a different approach. The approach will depend on the solution component that is being implemented, but more on that later. We accelerate the implementation using pre-built assets and accelerators to drive early benefits realization. We involve the business throughout the project, and we partner with our customers right from the start. TCM takes a holistic approach, looking at all the activities that are required. So not just those that are needed for implementation of the technology, but also they're required by the business to set the foundation for successful adoption of the solution. TCM drives short, rapid implementation cycles and prepares the organization for getting into the rhythm of managing and benefiting from regular updates that drive innovation. We mentioned the flexibility of different delivery approaches within one overall framework. If a solution already exists, for example, a cloud application, we look at how the solution can help drive the desired business outcome rather than gather requirements. We start by reviewing the solution inherent processes. We guide our customers through configuration choices. make those configurations in the application, and then play back the solution. This allows our customers to visualize the solution within their business context and confirm that it meets business needs. With this context, we talk about validation rather than testing, as we validate the configuration. The testing of the application has already been done by Oracle. If a solution does not exist, for example, if we need an integration between our cloud application and a legacy system, we follow a design-led approach. We gather requirements, create the design, build it, and then test it. For solutions such as a PaaS SaaS extension, we favour an agile approach, as it allows for an early feedback loop from users and an incremental solution delivery. As already mentioned, for a SaaS solution, we urge our customers to adopt standard wherever possible. To fully benefit from cloud applications and the associated innovation, this is provided through regular releases. You should implement and use it as intended. For those areas of the business where you need to achieve or maintain parity with the competition, it does not make sense to invest in costly innovation. So you are going to gain a competitive advantage by developing a bespoke system to maintain HR records. But as we also recognise, there will be areas where you want to gain a competitive advantage, in which case we will help you innovate to allow you to develop differentiating capabilities. And thirdly, there might be areas where you need to meet legislation requirements for which a solution might not exist. In this case, we'll help you innovate by meet parity. In summary, deviations from standards should be justified by your business strategy. We ask you to have an open mind about adopting standards, as it might require you to change what you do now. Think of it this way. You need to get from your home to the office, and for the last few years you have had your routine of using the same means of transport and the same route. We might ask you to pick a different means of transport and a different route. If you still get from your home to the office within a reasonable time frame and in a convenient manner, why would you not be able to switch? As previously mentioned, on-premise implementations tend to follow a requirements-driven approach, whereas Oracle recommends a solution-led approach for public cloud, or specifically for a SaaS solution. Let's take a look at the main differences. For on-premise implementation, the implementation team is usually made up of IT and the supplier. The solution is adjusted to fit existing business processes, which means an extensive business and analytics exercise which requirements capturing. As customizations are built, there is a need for extensive documentation. Change management is typically derived through an external team, and after the solution has gone live, the business goes into a long period of steady state. The approach to training and adoption is a big bang. There is a need for full cycle of application and performance testing due to the custom work. For a public cloud implementation, we recommend that the project team is made up of representations from the business, IT and the partner or partners. It is key that the business adopt the best practice processes that are embedded in the solution. The implementation approach should be agile and iterative. As the solution already exists, we make extensive use of pre-built material accelerators. Change management should be led by the business, and the implementation approach should focus on developing internal adaptive capabilities. Cloud adoption becomes an enduring capability and culture of continuous improvement and innovation should be instilled in the organisation. Training and support should be ongoing, not a one-off event. Oracle universities offering cloud in learning subscriptions and guided learning should be leveraged. With regard to testing the SaaS product, it's more a validation of the configuration rather than full-fledged testing. Now let's look at the difference between a waterfall approach and agile. Remember that for areas where the strategy justifies deviation from standard, for example for a PaaS for SaaS extension, we recommend a full agile approach. Let us remind ourselves that for a waterfall approach, a detailed design is completed up front. Once project development begins, it's difficult to change specifications, if any are required. All the development is done in one phase. The testing is done after all the build activities have been completed. The overall intention is to complete the project by completing everything that was included in the design, addressing all requirements. In contrast, the Agile framework allows for changes along the line to reflect shifts in requirements, focus, or even scope. This might be triggered by changes to the business content. Because this method uses an incremental development approach, the phases of requirement, design, implementation, testing, and deployment are repeated several times in a so-called iteration. Testing occurs throughout the project and guarantees a constant feedback loop from the business. The feedback might lead to adjustments in design. By far the largest difference between a waterfall and an agile approach is that agile enables early benefit realizations, as you can deploy the increasingly growing solution after each iteration. This image visualizes the concept that the project team solution knowledge is significantly accelerated with the use of true cloud methodology, and the implementation team has increased decision-making value, providing greater predictability of the business outcomes. From experience, here are the key drivers of a successful Oracle Cloud implementation. Focus on business outcomes, not system requirements. Focus on the what you want to achieve before you consider the how. Adopt standard processes and functionality, even if this challenges old ways of thinking. Ensure that there is a strong involvement from the business to shape and own the solution. Empower process owners who can make timely, well-informed decisions, and champion the solution and ways of working are essential for a successful implementation. There needs to be a well-defined structure for project oversight and decision-making in line with your organization's vision and strategy. You need strong sponsorship, effective communications, and clearly defined responsibilities and accountability. Prepare your organization to benefit from the solution and address the human aspects, for example, behavior change, mindset shift, policy adjustment, etc. Work as one team, your organization and Oracle IT and business, with a shared vision, clearly defined goals, and a common understanding of roles and responsibility. Principles for successful living in the Oracle Cloud. Aim for a single, simple, common process across all organization lines of business. Focus on the adoption of the standard functionality and benefit from best practice and innovation. Where customizations are necessary, govern those items closely. Avoid complex IT and business processes and create an environment that enables rapid and informed decision making based on how it drives business success and supports the business case. Cloud applications invariably drive new ways of working, which affect all involved, the business and IT. Nurture a self-service culture, leverage Customer Connect and Oracle University resources to support your staff. Predictable timelines help to manage unpredictable impacts. Preparation and execution of regular updates are key. This requires strong governance in IT and business to encourage speedy and collaborative decision making. Cloud management is inherently tied to change management, as it concerns behaviours, perceptions and organisation culture. Enabled behaviours you want to see. To be successful in the cloud, IT and the business need to work hand in hand, each with their respective responsibilities to look after the overall solution. To summarise, in this lesson, we've learned about the various implementation methodologies used in on-premise versus the public cloud. Many thanks for watching.